When we have an alarm indicating that one of our doors is not closed properly, it is normal that the crew have some confusion. May I continue? Should I descend to a safe altitude? And despite the associated procedures that clearly state that no crew action is required while cabin pressurization is normal, this failure is worth studying to make a good decision. First, using the Airbus 320 as a model, even though there are some minor differences, we will review the doors that can trigger this alarm when is not detected closed by the proximity sensors. These doors can be avionics door, forward cabin door, after cabin door, emergency exit doors, forward cargo door, after cargo door, bulk cargo door. On the A321, the emergency exit doors are also called forward and after emergency exit doors or overwing exit doors, depending on the model. Now let us check when this alarm can be triggered. Although this alarm can also be activated while on the ground, we will only review its in-flight activation in detail. During takeoff, this alarm is inhibited from 80 knots to 1,500 feet. And during approach, it is inhibited from 800 feet to 80 knots. In other words, for most of the flight this alarm can be activated in the case a door is opened, or there is a fault with some of the sensors. This is what corresponds to Phase 6 of the flight warning computer functions. When this alarm is triggered, we will hear a single chime along with the activation of the master caution light. The doors page will automatically appear on the system display page. The indication shown in the ECAM, if abnormal cabin vertical speed, leads us to check the condition of the pressurization system. For that, we can observe the cruise page, where we will have both the rate of climb or descent, and the cabin altitude, and if necessary, we can also see more details on the cabin pressurization page, in the system display, as the position of the outflow valve. Now let us see what happens if this alarm is activated during the different phases of the flight. We are going to start with the climb phase, which is the only moment where it is possible to confuse the readings of a normal climb with the increase in cabin altitude that will occur if a door allows loss of pressurization. As you can observe in your flights, a normal cabin rate of climb usually does not exceed 500 feet per minute, as you can see in this example, climbing through flight level 215 where the climbing rate is at 350 feet per minute. Also, you can see in the cabin pressurization page, in the system display, that during climb the outflow valve is maintained with a slight opening. In the event a door is unlocked, and pressurization is lost during climb, you are expected to observe a high rate of climb, along with the closure of the outflow valve in an attempt to keep pressurization within limits. During cruise, the cabin altitude must remain stable at the level off value or at the elevation of the destination airport, whichever is higher, but not greater than 8,000 feet. Just as a reference, in my last flight to a destination of 2,500 feet, at flight level 290, the cabin altitude remained at approximately 5,700 feet. Later, when we climbed to flight level 350, the cabin altitude remained at approximately 7,100 feet. During cruise only small momentary changes in cabin vertical speed are needed during flight to keep your altitude stable. So, if cabin pressure were to be lost, we would see a clear increase in cabin altitude. Finally, during descent, the vertical speed of the cabin should allow to reach an altitude slightly lower than that of the destination airport shortly before landing. Normally, this rate fluctuates between 250 and 350 feet per minute, and according to the airplane manual, this ratio should not exceed 750 feet per minute of descent. Therefore, during descent, it should be easy to identify if the pressurization is lost, since the vertical speed of the cabin will not be able to drop at a normal speed, and an increase will probably begin. In summary, a well-trained pilot should be able to identify, after careful analysis, whether the pressurization is normal for the flight phase or if the airplane is losing his pressurization due to the opening of a door. This analysis is of vital importance since the decision of whether to continue the flight or deviate to an alternate will depend on it. If the pressurization of the airplane is effectively affected, the procedure established in the airplane manual must be applied. Remember, keep studying, fly safe, and always follow your airline's SOPs.